Is your credit score important to you? Your credit number. You know that number that many banks and institutions and companies and people, right, in general, focus on today when you go to get money or you go to get a loan or something that has to do with credit. Even getting jobs today, even getting a job today has your credit number has something to do with that, or eventually it will. I know in some places it is. Is this important to you? Because we're going to discuss this topic just a little bit here. I'm going to share some motivations with you, but I want you to think about what's happening in your life. And could this be a motivator for you to begin shifting your mind and moving in the best direction for yourself, especially if you're a problem gambler? All right, my friend, let's get started on this. Once again, Santos Rolon Jr., the world's #1 problem gambling annihilator, Stockton, California, soldiers of selfmastery.com. My information will always be below. You can connect with me there. I am the author of the Little Red Book. And I'm going to ask you to soldier scribe before we go forward. Now, let's get into this really quick about your credit score. Problem gamblers become they become clouded. Dark clouds begin to override and overrule the sunshine. And I say that because it's the truth. When you gamble, especially if you have a gambling problem, you're borrowing money. Normally we start out very well with good, decent credit, high credit cards, good relationships. And we have good relationships with the banking systems and the Billy family, right? You remember the Billy family, the bill collectors? Typically, that's how we start out. But what happens is we end up destroying all of that little by little. We end up destroying it little by little. It's not one. The Bible says it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. Now, you might be doing okay, and you've landed in front of this video, you're following me. Again, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to this channel, stay with me, stay close to me, so that I can help you. Get free, stay free, live free, and pay it forward. Doesn't it make sense to help other people when you're doing better for yourself, right? It does. It makes a lot of sense. So why should we be focused on credit in this video? What does credit really have to do with problem gambling? And is it possible that if you began to focus on the damage that you might do or that you're doing already, could that possibly help you turn your life around? Well, I'm going to try in this short video, so stay with me. Artificial intelligence, recognition technology. I know China has, in fact, there's a lot of technology now. I don't know. I haven't seen too much of it in the United States where facial recognition. You get recognized just by looking. And, of course, it has something to do with your eyes and probably your face. Allowing you to do more. Technology allows us to do more, right? Artificial intelligence, robotics, autonomy, self-driving, the trucks and the vehicles. In fact, we have software that is actually developing itself, and it's in these robots. Who was the first one that was the lady, the female robot? I remember she was having a conversation with Anthony Robbins. These computers, these robots, this artificial intelligence, it's actually feeding itself. It can feed itself. It can learn on its own. And that's where we're headed today. Within the next 6 to 12 months, 12 to 24 months, we're going to see a lot more technology, a lot more improvements. We're going to see a lot more stuff happening in the technology sector. Jobs being replaced, new jobs coming into play. Your credit has to do with earning income. Will your credit have to do with earning income or generating income in the future? What about the privileges that are afforded to people that keep their credit proper. Right? There's certain privileges, offers. When you're gambling, you're not thinking about any of this. You're running to the ATM. You're pulling money out of the banking system. You're paying fees. You're borrowing from your credit card. In fact, I remember I was watching this program about this one lady. She had a good job, good, decent paying job, but unfortunately her gambling habits caused her to steal money and run up bills in credit. She had thousands and thousands of dollars, checks that she used to write to the casinos. And of course, she built a credit with the casino. And when you're problem gambling, all of that goes down into the pot. All of that goes down into the river, right? The river that flows with a strong current, and everything that gets into that river is just washed away. It's destroyed. It's never to be found again. And as gamblers, that's exactly what you do with your credit. You throw your credit into that river, and you might have started out with something very, very decent. It's really sad what happens. The privileges that are afforded to people with best credit. There's a lot happening today. You might be in the middle of this situation where your credit is being affected, or maybe your credit is already damaged. I'm going to ask you to think about this right now. You need to stop, and you need to begin repairing your credit before it gets worse. You could possibly even land in jail for having bad credit. How could that happen? Well, there's all kinds of weird, strange circumstances and experiences that happen on this planet. And if we're not working, if we're not striving to better ourselves, we're not staying in the same place. We're regressing. We're going backwards. And going backwards could land you in the can. There's innocent people that have landed in the can, right? In the prison. They're still there. Some of them are being released today. My friend, the world is unfair. There's a lot of uncertainties. But there are certain things that we can begin to work on and at least grab onto and hold on to. And one of them is your credit. I'm going to admonish you. I'm going to inspire you. I'm going to really think about this. For my life, I ruined my credit. I'm starting to rebuild. I started rebuilding a little bit, but I damaged it. Credit cards. I remember borrowing. I had loans, these payday loans. I had numerous payday loans, and some were online and some were physical, right? Physical buildings that you walk into and borrow money. And it was a bad cycle. It was a bad cycle. And it was just consuming me. It was consuming my time and money. Eventually, it took its toll on me. With everything that's going on, I'm going to encourage you to stop and think about your credit. It's your credit. It's your future. It's your money. I mean, how could you be affected? You could be affected in many different ways. It could have to do with your earnings. It could have to do with a business, relationships. Some people don't even want to be around other people if they don't have a certain amount of credit. I don't know where I read that, but I've seen that somewhere. Of course, you don't want to be around negative people because that negative energy will eventually, it'll find its way into your life. So my friend, this is really about credit. If you found yourself in front of this video, I'm going to encourage you to really think about, stop, consider, begin repairs before you do any real remodeling, or before you get to the place where you can't do any real remodeling in your life. And I'm talking about financially. Having a bad credit score, a low credit score can be a big deal. A big deal, especially as technology and all this, artificial intelligence, people will know things quicker. I know I don't want anybody to know my credit score as I continue to work on it, but of course it's out there. This is what I wanted to share with you, my friend. I truly hope that you're working on your credit score. I hope that you don't let it go to pots, man. I hope that you don't throw it into the river, that flowing river that has a strong current. It leads to nowhere. It leads to emptiness, darkness, gloom, and depression. I hope this helps. If it does, share it with somebody, encourage somebody, motivate somebody. And I'm going to see you at the top on the inside on my very next one. Santos Rolon Jr., the world's #1 problem gambling annihilator. We do have a program on Sundays and Fridays, 7 p.m., Solutions and Answers. But I will see you on my next one. Remember to give me a thumbs up, Soldier Scribe, support me, get the book. It's a great gift. It'll help you change the way you think. It'll help you change the way you live. It'll put some light on your dark path. Santos Rolon Jr., soldiersofselfmastery.com. I salute you.